Good morning. This morning I want to tackle some big questions, because meditation is the answer to, I have found anyway, answering most of the big questions in life. So most people that I speak to want to know two things: who they truly are and why they're here. What's their purpose? What will give their life meaning? And they're really big questions. They're lifelong work, many lifetimes work. And the thing is, meditation will actually answer both questions. And so I'm going to briefly explain why, and then we'll do a meditation in which we can experience this deeper. So when you go into meditation and you are able to step back and detach from your thoughts and observe the inner workings of your mind. When you do this on a regular basis, you get to know what thoughts are in your mind. You get to know your personality. You get to know the thoughts that repeat. You get to know the way that you see yourself seeing the world. That sounds a bit crazy, but you start to get a feel for your particular filters. You get a feel for how you perceive the world. You start to realize if you're mostly a positive person, if maybe you're inclining toward being more negative. You start to notice if things are changing in the way that you are. So that detaching and just observing thoughts without judgment, just as is, gives you a very clear idea of who you are and where you're at this particular time. And the beautiful thing is it will show you positive change. So you'll notice those thoughts are changing as you meditate more. And so this helps you to get to know what I call your personality. And your personality is the sum total of what you present to the world, how you interact with the world. And it includes all our different roles. So I might be a different person as a mother, as a friend, as a colleague. You know, we have different roles and different aspects to our personality, and different experiences and people in life bring out those different aspects. But it is something that is always growing and changing and evolving. We're not who we were in a personality sense 5 years ago. 5 months ago, 5 minutes ago. But there's something deep inside of us that doesn't change. And this is what I would call your true self, or your essence. You could call it your higher self. You could call it your soul, your spirit, whatever words you want to use. And this doesn't change. Excuse me. This is an essence that's there all the time. Perhaps in many lifetimes sitting behind the personality, you're not so in touch with it, but it's your core, it's your truth, your essence. And this essence is eternal and goes from life to life and is always there, but also grows and evolves as you make contact with this essence. And really, when we go into meditation, and we calm our mind and we connect with a deep inner peace, a place where we feel calm and strong and clear. And we are able to detach and observe our thoughts. The essence that's observing your thoughts is this true self, the peace, the stillness, the love that you connect to deep in meditation is your truth, is your true self. So you could say in meditation that your soul observes the thoughts of your personality, for example. And in the process of observing and letting them go, that personality that's been shaped by the world, by how others see us, by how we see ourselves, by our ego attachments to who we are, by our conditionings from what other people have told us about who we are, that slowly melts away. And as that personality, especially our attachment and identification with it, as that melts away over time, and this is through the practice of meditation on a daily basis, that soul light, that essence that we are, can come through more and more. And instead of being a person who's up and down and all over the place, at the mercy of our thoughts and our personality reactions to the world, we become calm and we become a lot more stable and balanced and harmonious, because we are able to express that calm clarity, that light, that wisdom that comes from the soul getting a chance to shine through as the personality attachment wanes. And this all happens simply by observing the breath or a mantra or whatever is your object of meditation, until you go down into a peaceful place and are able to observe your mind, observe the thoughts that run through your mind and let them go. Because every time you let them go, you're letting go attachment to aspects of yourself that are not the highest truth. For many people, they're the only truth about who they are. They define themselves as their job, their roles, who their experience has molded. But as you meditate, you start to realize there's an aspect of you deep inside that has a far different feel, a different vibration. That's your light. And this truth of who you are starts to shine through. And then in terms of your life purpose and giving your life meaning, so as you meditate more and you start to connect with and find out who you truly are, A, it's stable, B, it's resilient, and C, it's consistent. You are always there for yourself. Your soul is always there for you. And it brings a security and a stability that the personality often in the world lacks. And this is what tosses us about in the waves, at the surface of the ocean. The soul is like the deeply quiet of the deeper layers of the ocean. And what happens is, as we connect more and more with this soul aspect of who we are, we have more space in our mind. The personality thoughts die down. And in between the thoughts, in that beautiful space, the soul speaks. And the soul speaks in the language of the intuition. And it's not like the language of our personality, ego-driven mind. It's not like the language of thoughts and how we normally think. Quite often, it's more like a feeling or a push, or it might be symbolic. Quite often the soul speaks in symbols or speaks in, for example, we'll show you things in dreams, that sort of language, an abstract, subjective type of language. And especially if you seek your purpose, you seek a life of meaning, the soul will start to show you what that is. It will gently guide you. And it aligns, your soul is aligned universally. So the soul is able to draw in access and wisdom from universal consciousness, from all that is, from guardian angels, from guides, from, your soul. We are just one incarnation of our soul that we're aware of. The soul is magnificent and awesome. And the soul will start to guide the person who's open to listening. And really what happens in our busy personality mind that's got racing thoughts and full of thoughts and so tied up in identifying and attaching with the world that we see around us, the soul doesn't get a look in. The messages can try and come through, but the water's muddy. It's not till the mud sinks to the bottom and the water's clear that message can come through. And the soul will always guide you as to your purpose. And the amazing thing is opportunities will come along in life that as a personality you wouldn't recognize as soul purpose opportunities. But as someone with increasing soul contact, they have a quality and oh, yeah, I could do that. Yeah, they have a different resonance. They hit a note that resonates with your soul, and the two notes are in tune. And there's some fear, there's doubt, because we're human, and that's what we do, but there's excitement as well. And the two are both there. And when that's happening, that is the moment in which we have a choice to lift up into our courageous heart and follow the path of our soul. And this will be a life of purpose. Each stepping stone on that life will take you in the path that is your destiny. And your destiny is always to become who you are, to remember you are a light, to remember you are love, to remember you are a soul in essence, just having a personality experience on this planet at this time. And this path will just open up day by day, moment by moment, moment by mindful present moment. And that's the other key, is we will miss life providing us with those opportunities, with those nudges, with that guidance, if we're so busy in our mind and caught up in our thoughts that we miss what's going on right here and now. And that opportunity, we miss it. And then life will present it again and again and again. And eventually we'll go, oh, there's an idea. Oh, and we feel a little nudge in our heart. So I would say that the heart language is, I was talking to someone yesterday and I was saying, you know, you have three intelligences. You've got a body gut intelligence that's visceral and connected to the earth. And gives you lots of messages that most people ignore and therefore suffer health consequences. You've got heart that speaks in the language of love and emotions, and many people are opening their heart, and that language is becoming much more predominant in our society, which is beautiful. It's much more acceptable to be guided by the heart. And then you have a mind, a lower mind, a personality mind that has your normal thoughts. Now, ideally, you listen to all three intelligences. And in meditation, you align with all three intelligences. And the more you meditate regularly, the more all three intelligences come into being available to you in your everyday life. So if you have a decision to make, you go into a quiet place and you listen to your gut. What's your gut feel on it? You listen to your heart. What's your heart telling you? And you might listen to your usual thoughts, but what would be a wiser thing to do would be to go into meditation and connect with your higher self that speaks through our higher mind, where there's going to be wisdom coming from the soul. And if it's coming from the soul, the message from your gut, your heart, and your higher mind will all be the same. And if it's the right thing to you, it will be a resounding yes that's both visceral in your body, heartfelt. Yes, there's some fear, but courage comes from the heart. And the mind will probably present all sorts of reasons why you shouldn't do that based on fear and your past experiences. And you can look at those and you can see, are these fears real, or are they just holding me back? Have they served me in the past, or have they kept me from a life of purpose and meaning, and therefore joy? Because when you connect with your soul, when that light comes through you and radiates out from you, the experience we have is joy. And other people feel and sense this joy, this light from us. And that sparks their light and their joy and some kind of deep internal impetus for them to seek their own self, true self, their own light, their joy. And this all comes from simply meditating. So when you want to know the answers to who you truly are, I say go deep inside and have the courage to see, to look, to observe without judgment or criticism. That's important because that's just your lower ego mind, your fear kicking in a loving, kind, compassionate way. You observe the thoughts in your mind, which will give you an update on where your personality is at. You go deeper into a connection with your soul and start to find out who you truly are. And this is a magnificent journey. I don't believe there's anything else that will give you more sense of purpose, meaning, and joy in your life, because you connect to light, love, universal consciousness, and you let go your attachment to the things in the world that tend to not make us happy and joyful and full of light. You let those go. You can still have them in your life, but you're not attached to them. They're not your essence. They're not your truth. You stand under a greater truth. You understand there is more to life than just the material world and the world of identifying with your personality. And then as you meditate more regularly and your body learns to quieten down and the mind learns to quieten down, and in between those thoughts or behind those thoughts, you start to resonate with that soul contact. And your soul will then present to you, what in your life is out of balance, what in your life would be ideal for you to move toward, what feels good, what feels wrong, what questions you need to ask, what healing is needed, what needs redeeming within your personality. It's all there. And this is why everything you need is within you and not outside of you. So I know that seems like an awful lot to be going on by simply meditating, but the key is that it becomes a regular practice, because you'll have fleeting moments of this and fleeting moments of meditation. But if you want this to be the defining aspect of your life, following your higher purpose with a life of joy and growth and evolving into all that you are, you need to meditate regularly. So on that note, we're going to do a meditation today in which we observe our thoughts. So I'll take you deep into connection with that inner peace. And then you'll just simply observe your thoughts. And as you see them come into your mind, you just, for a moment, are they positive, are they negative, or are they neutral? And once you've identified that, and if you're not sure they're neutral, you let them go. So you actually, at practice, letting go that attachment or identification with them. And you just keep doing this throughout the meditation. And then we'll go into a deeper space where we can connect with this higher aspect of you, this soul light. Now, what you may find is when the mind knows it's going to be observed, it quietens down significantly. Thoughts hide. They may disappear altogether. And you're like, well, this is nice. Just enjoy the peace. They will come back, and you can always practice this again. Just being aware of those thoughts and aware of the nature of them. So no more talking. Get yourself comfortable. You want to be sitting with your spine reasonably upright, but you can be supported by a chair. Feet on the floor, ideally uncrossed, and that allows the free flow of energy through the chakras, hands resting gently in your lap. So just gently close your eyes, and I want you to just let go everything that I've just talked about. You can always watch the recording again, and anything you really needed to know will have gone deep into your psyche and will be available to you when you need it. And we're going to connect with the earth. So imagine that you're sending a connection down through your feet or through the base of your spine, right down deep into the earth. And we're connecting with the soul of the earth. So not just her surface layers, but deep into the very heart and soul of her. And now we're going to come into this present moment. And we do this by focusing on the senses. So just be aware of your body sitting on the chair. Be aware of the feeling of the clothes on your skin. Be aware of the play of air in the room. And now gently bring your awareness to your hearing. So just be aware of the sounds in the room and just let them be. And now we take this awareness to our breath. And I want you to just simply observe the breath coming in and out of your body. So feeling the breath coming in through your nose, your mouth, feeling the breath leave. And now observing the breath as it goes all the way down through your chest into your belly. So ideally, as you breathe in, your tummy fills with air gently. As you breathe out, you bring your tummy back towards your spine, releasing the air. But just find a rhythm and a depth that's slow and gentle and relaxed, but perfect for you. And with a very gentle focus on the breath, you will find it will take your awareness inward. Now, whenever your mind is distracted from this gentle focus on the breath, just acknowledge that and gently come back to the breath. And we acknowledge it with loving kindness. There's no judgment or criticism. We simply come back to the breath. And as you follow the breath with your mind, it will take you down into a peaceful place inside of you. The thoughts in your mind will slow down. There'll be more space between them. And as you hold your awareness on the breath, you will find that you're able to observe the thoughts coming into your mind, as if you were standing on a riverbank, just watching them pass by in the flow of the river. And as a thought comes into your mind, just acknowledge, is it positive? Is it negative? Is it neutral? And let it flow on past as if it was flowing downstream. If your mind becomes very quiet, just enjoy the peace of the riverbank, the peace of your mind. If you find you have jumped into the river and followed a thought, a line of thought, as soon as you recognize this, just let it go and come back to the riverbank through a focus on the breath. We are not judging, we are not criticizing, we are simply observing. If your mind has wandered, just gently bring it back by focusing on the breath. And this will bring you back into the place of the witness or the observer. As you connect with the observer, your true self, know that you are meeting your greatest friend, your greatest guide. And the aspect of you that loves you completely and unconditionally beyond measure, and is always with you, and has your best and highest interests at heart. So now just allow the thoughts, the observation of your thoughts to wane. So you're no longer categorizing them as positive, negative, or neutral. And just allow yourself, through connection with the breath, focusing on the breath, to just drop down into the deep peace of your being. To connect with the truth of who you are. And if thoughts arise and distract your mind, just come back to a focus on the breath, and it will take you back into connection with your peace, yourself. And notice in this peace that you have full access to the wisdom of your body. You have full access to the wisdom of your heart. And you have full access to a higher wisdom of your mind. And if there's something in your life you seek guidance on, just ask into this peace, ask into the space. And then just be open and allow those intelligences to speak in their language. We listen to any messages of the physical body, any discomfort or aches or pains, letting us know areas that are out of balance or things we are doing in our life to throw our physical body out of balance and harmony. We listen to the wisdom of our heart, the feelings that something is right or wrong for us, a pull in a certain direction. And then we open to the wisdom of our higher mind that speaks in symbols, speaks in images, in poetry, in song, but not in the usual language of our thoughts. Speaks in the language of intuition and knowing that may be unexplainable to the usual mind. And if the answers do not appear in meditation, they may come along during your day, especially when you are connected, mindful, and aware in each moment. Or they may come in dreams, in books you are drawn to, and people you have conversations with on a profound level. But the answers always come to those who listen. Often they will just arise in our mind, complete and beautiful, when we're out connecting with nature or with animals, or playing and having fun. Now gently relax your mind, and we're going to slowly arise from meditation, coming back into an awareness of your physical body, but just keeping your eyes closed for a moment longer. So if you need to move and stretch, do. Take a nice deep breath. And now as you open your eyes, I want you to open your eyes with complete awareness, so that you open your eyes and see through the eyes of your soul in that moment. When you're ready, just open your eyes with awareness. And you will see in that moment that the world is indeed a beautiful place, a place of truth and goodness, because you see through the eyes of the soul, whose nature is truth, beauty, and goodness. And when you do a deep meditation like this, in which you may be seeking answers to bigger questions, if you're confused about what arose in meditation, or the answers didn't necessarily arise clearly in the meditation, there are several things you can do. The first thing is that you can try again next time you meditate, and you'll clear the pathways to being able to hear that guidance clearly. The other thing you can do is you can just write in a spiritual journal, and this is writing that no one else needs to see. And it needs to be writing that's what we call a stream of consciousness. So there's no censorship, there's no trying to think about what to write, you just write. And you will find that in the first page or so, you're writing from your personality self. It'll be the self you identify with in the world, just writing, and address whatever question you had. And as you write a bit longer and sort of almost release all of that personality attachment and identification, you will find that your writing takes on a different quality and starts to flow. And with practice, this writing, you can almost allow the guidance of your soul to come through the pen. And your writing, you will start to write from your higher self. And the answers, you will answer your own questions with this writing, or you will pose the right questions to ask. Because sometimes we're not asking the right questions, and this is why we don't get the answers we seek. So it might be that there's more to the question, or you've not quite got it in alignment. But this practice of just writing becomes a vehicle for your higher self to speak to you, especially again if you do it regularly. And it can be really useful to do after meditation when you're still in touch with all that occurred in the meditation on those deeper levels and on those inner planes. So that's what you can do. There are other tools to accessing the intuition. You can use numerology, you can use astrology, you can use tarot. These all help, but really none of them, that all of them, they're just your soul speaking through another medium to help you to hear, interpret, and understand the message. So I hope that that helps, and it gives you a bit of insight into why the practice of meditation regularly is so important. Because what starts to happen with regular practice is that capacity to not identify or attach to your personality self comes into your life, and you start to, life just gets easier because you're not caught up in the drama and the emotions of who did what and who didn't, and these people should behave this way and they did. You just observe life as a beautiful drama because you're not so attached to your ego, your personality. You recognize that the light of your soul is coming through, and you start to see the soul in others, and therefore have a lot more tolerance for their personality imperfections and very humanness. So practice meditation. There's lots of videos on my YouTube site if you want to know more about how to meditate. Namaste.